and I'm sure you do. If not, I'm going to let you know there are hundreds of Civil War heroes that came from the state of Illinois. And I'm originally from Illinois, central Illinois, so I know of a lot of them. A lot of them. You also probably already know that Abraham Lincoln was originally from Illinois in his later years. He was born in Kentucky. His parents moved up to Indiana. He lost his mother at 10 years old when he was in Indiana, and his father moved to Illinois. And Lincoln spent a lot of his younger years in Illinois, but his older years basically were spent in Illinois. So he left for the White House in 1861, where he was well close to 50 by this time. This is not about any of them, about Abraham Lincoln at the moment. That will come up in the future. This video is about a man born in 1827 and he died in 1897. And his name was Charles Hovey. Now I'll go into explanation a little bit now how he is famous and how he's attached to the Civil War in Illinois. In central Illinois, in McLean County, is a metropolitan area of two cities, around 130,000 residents, called the Twin Cities, known as Bloomington Normal. Normal was part of Bloomington, called Bloomington North, up until 1865, until it became Normal, Illinois. Now, through that area, Bloomington Normal, there is a street, Main Street, which is a main street that runs through Bloomington Normal. It runs from south to north, from Bloomington, which is south of Normal, into Normal. And on the end of each one of this road of Main Street are two colleges, maybe one of the only ones in the U.S. I'm not really sure about that, but one of the very few, with the college on each end. In Bloomington, at the south end of Main Street, is Illinois Wesleyan University. On the north part of Main Street, there is a college known as Illinois State University. Illinois State University was known as Illinois State Normal University back in the 1800s. Now, normal comes from a French word meaning actually teacher, and so Illinois State Normal University was actually a teacher college. And these two cities lie in the county of McLean County. And McLean County is named after a senator from Illinois by the name of John McLean. He died in 1830, and in honor of his service in the Senate, U.S. Senate, they named that county McLean. Charles Hovey was born April 26, 1827, in Vermont. He attended Dartmouth College, graduated from Dartmouth College with a degree, and then he attended Framingham College in Massachusetts and attended a short time to become a lawyer. In 1852, he moved to Illinois and he became superintendent of the schools in Peoria, Illinois, because he had a teaching background. He had taught school while he was in college to get his degree. Charles Hovey was actually a teacher, and he was the first president of Illinois State University, at that time called ISNU, Illinois State Normal University. He was the first president appointed, and he was actually one of the founders of Illinois State University. The administration building in Illinois State University is named after him, Hovey. In 1861, or when the Civil War started, many of the teachers, students at Illinois State Normal University were rioting because they wanted to become part of the Army. Not so to speak rioting, but gathering together to become part of the Union Army. Hovey at the time was appointed a general by Abraham Lincoln himself, and he decided to lead these students and teachers into battle. The request was from the teachers and the students that if they served in the military, in the Union Army, their request was that they be able to finish their education and get a teaching degree. In 1861, he decided to join the military, for the Union. He also formed a regiment known as the 33rd Illinois Infantry. And they were composed of teachers and students that attended Illinois State Normal University at that time, which was a teacher college. So they were teachers and they were students to become teachers. Charles Hovey was appointed a colonel when he was finally appointed. He became a brigadier general after he had served in the military. So through some snafus, he was never really promoted to general until after the war. Now he had a few minor engagements in Missouri. Now Colonel Charles Hovey participated in the Battle of Arkansas Post on the Arkansas River during the Civil War in 1863. And this battle, I will go into more detail later. It involved a diversionary force battle during the Vicksburg campaign when Grant was trying to take Vicksburg. He participated in this battle. He was wounded in the battle. His left arm was shot. He was basically hurt from this. He still continued to fight with his regiment, and he was given accommodations by General Sherman at the time for staying on the battle, during the battle, not on the battlefield, because it was actually Arkansas Post. It was actually known as the Battle of Fort Hindman, Hindman, if you ever want to look that up. But that took place right before the Vicksburg victory. And it was a diversionary tactic that Sherman had done to kind of get the Confederates away from Vicksburg. More about that later on, though. But he was injured, and that was pretty much ended his military career after that. He moved to Washington, D.C. after the Civil War and did a little lawyer work in D.C., but also he was a lobbyist. He was a paid lobbyist until his death in 1897, and he was honored by being buried in Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will have more posted in the future. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And please remember, did you know?